Okay, everyone, welcome to our Falco weekly community call. We are a CNCF project, so please be kind to each other. I've dropped the link in if everybody could sign in. I'm going to share my screen. Alrighty then. Okay, so May 17th, we're recording this call. If you do not want if you don't want to be recorded, please just turn off your camera and let's get it going. All right, anybody have any weekly highlights before we dive into the agenda? Okay, let's move forward. So Federico, your first topic, proposing a release manager for Falco version 3.5.
Hi everyone. As I brought, I'd like to propose myself as a release manager for the next Falco release. This is a somewhat, delicate release since the number of changes in libraries in Falco is huge, literally huge. So I think this is the right time to take the release manager role once again. In the meantime, a small update about the release. Drivers have been tagged. Andrea took care of that. And they are already live on download.falco.org. Not all of them, because we had like a small issue now in our test cluster, but we will be uploading drivers until the Falco 0.35 is released. Libraries 0.11 will be probably tagged soonish, let's say possibly by the end of the week, I hope at least. We will then bump libraries and driver in Falco and test it for some days. I think that there are still some Falco only features or fixes that still need to get merged, but we are pretty in a good shape, let's say. I hope that in a couple of weeks we are able to tag Falco basically. Tomorrow I will open the tracking issue for the Falco release with a summary, and I post update whenever there are any. That's it.
Okay.
Does anyone want to make the shadow release manager with me?
You're asking for a co-release manager, Federico?
Yeah, for sure I can help you with it.
Oh, thank you, Andrea.
Cool. All righty. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Just, do a quick note here.
And remember, if people want to join the release team and be release shadows, they can also write it in the channel. And Federico will be very happy to have help in this release.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Oh, so me and Luca already tagged some alpha pre-releases of Falco. This is just some internal test, basically, for the new GitHub Actions workflow. So that's it. They are not usable releases. Okay, so don't use them.
Okay. Thanks so much for the update. Okay. I just have a quick. I guess I have a quick question is my next point in regards to community feedback. Where or what's the best channel for me to provide that to the community? So as an example, in the notes, I shared the link to a post on LinkedIn where I was just asking like, hey, if you had feedback around Falco, like just share it with us. I think it's meaningful for us to start getting in the practice of asking the community that, and as well as sharing it, but what's the best, just bringing here to the community call, or do we have a specific place where we can start collecting this information or you guys just like, you're like, don't tell us. Just let me know. But I think it's important for us to review that and that feedback and have a plan on how we want to respond or follow up. Okay, the next is just a reminder, contributor of the month is nominations are open, so please nominate your people. And then also preparing the content for the newsletter as well. So if you want to share a blog, etc., let me know. That's going to get published at the end of the month. And that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over to our guest, Furkan. There you go.
Yeah, hi everyone. And I'd like to actually, as you might already have seen, Falco-GPT projects. And today I'd like to introduce here, and Jacques told me it'd be great to introduce here a few previews last month. And it's been a while to being since the introducing the projects, and I'd like to make it lightning talk for maximum 5 to 10 minutes here. And I am sorry for the English, by the way, and I try my best here.
Oh my gosh, no problem.
Let me
Please do
share.
not apologize for that ever.
Yeah, thank you. I can share my screen actually. Actually, the idea was pretty straightforward. Is the Falco already emits the audit events in their standard logs, and we can easily move forward these events using the Falco sidekick with the HTTP output dash URL. And these projects basically collect all the audit events and then send all the events using a prompt that there's a built-in prompt and ChatGPT prompt, and it basically sends all the requests to the OpenAI server using the client, using the Go client, and we can and then we collect the response from the HTTP request, and then it make a HTTP request to select the hook. This is of course for the demo purposes, but I think Thomas had a good idea for here to maybe we can bring this tool into Falco Sidekick to extend more output types and such as and so on. And if we go into details a bit, we can set different variables, for example, a buffer and query per second and custom template. There's I have written this template, OpenAI template, like you are a very intelligent audit log expert and blah blah. I can finally put my audit event from the Falco here, and there's a link buffer to prevent out of memory cases, and I use a rate limiter, and since OpenAI, I think there is 60 API per hour, I am not sure, to set a custom rate limit. And the handler Falco Sidekick sent the HTTP output event to this handler, and then we process the payload here and emits the lower priorities. Then there's a process queue that process entire ring buffer, and then finally it's we apply a rate limit for the using the rate package. Then we sent the payload for the OpenAI, and this is here. There's a client.get temp and get completion function, and we sent payload.row, and this is the client of the OpenAI. And yeah, and finally we sent the response to the Slack using the Slack webhook. And there's also a retry mechanism here to ensure if someone gonna try this big clusters, there is no we don't want any harm or unnecessary API requests to OpenAI servers. And this is the output actually. Example outputs here. And this is also not much deterministic because OpenAI have a temperature variable that says if we make this variable lower, it says it more focused and deterministic. But every time I try this in the cluster, I get different results. Even I set this variable to 0, but I can. It's okay for now. This and different audit events from the that Falco sent. And anything I can tell, yeah, different lakes. I have actually a local Kubernetes cluster. Yeah, thank you. And this is, and installation is pretty straightforward. You just apply the Helm upgrade, then you should apply the deployment YAML. There's two variables that have to be set, and one OpenAI token and Slack webhook URL. You can maybe store these variables in the .environment RC file, and applying this file would finally you can easily up and running the all pods. I have mini clusters with registry enabled, and this is actually working. Running means this application is up and running, and there's a health check mechanism in built-in and health check mechanism. Yeah, this is working non-root and very strict permissions also. And maybe I can make a small demo, but it's my slate. I tried to run a privileged container, and let's see if it's working. But I am 100% sure it's not gonna work due to Murphy laws. But let's try. I think my internet is a bit slow. Maybe I should during the waiting my next topic that I write here a blog post idea for the bringing more AI stuff into Falco. There's an issue here I proposed, and the idea is not sorry, I think I am dropped, and
Yeah, it looks like you dropped. really quick. So if you want to try sharing your screen again.
Yeah, sure. I can jump to my another proposal here. It's a blog post idea, but the main idea is not promote a GPT. It's more like that. Maybe we can use the AI in some place in the Falco or the security place because GPT projects a bit new in nowadays, and maybe we can build fully automated response engine models, and maybe more actually, maybe community would like to see more stuff using the GPT around the Falco or security community security space. And I am not entirely sure if what else I can put in the content, but this is the main bullet points that I can think about. And if you have any idea or feedback here, feel free to comment or discuss here. And yeah, thank you.
No,
And
thank you. And we appreciate you sharing this with you. So does anybody have anything to add or questions?
I have several comments, but most of them are technical and um, are not totally related to the project itself, but are more how to implement the project. So we can discuss later together, Furkan, especially if you want to integrate that into Falco Psychic. A lot of things will be, you will have to change a lot of things to make it work correctly, especially because of the rate limit we have in OpenAI with the GPT. It can create a lot of bad messages in Slack, especially if you have to wait a response from GPT or you have new alerts in Slack. It will create a mess. So we need to deal with that and change the way you communicate between your program and Slack. I don't fix that. It's just a little bit more complicated. But nice, good idea. I already have some friends who told me about that. So your works is starting to be famous.
Yeah, definitely, Thomas. Thank you for such a. I definitely want to work with you and discuss more about in Slack, and I think it would be great.
Yeah. Thank you, Furkan. My question, I guess, like, is Toma, are you working with Furkan? Like, can you support him through this, or someone from the community would be good to just pair up and.
We already worked together, so we can do it again for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we can create a small working group or small channel for this, or we can discuss more about in the comments before we get started. So if anybody wants to get involved in this, and we can collaboratively write this and on Google document or another platform.
Yeah, sure. I will share with you my comments to explain to you what we have to change.
Yeah, sure. And this is all about me today. And if you want to ask questions, you can always ping me. Feel free to ping.
Very cool. Thanks so much. Yeah, looking forward to seeing how this progresses and reading the blog. Okay, so let's move over to Tama. You've got the floor.
Yeah, basically, I'm developing a plugin for HashiCorp Vault. It is something we are doing together with the HashiCorp DevRel. No issue on my side about the development. I just have issues with the new CI for the plugins repository. For example, it took me 21 minutes to have one workflow completed. So I think since we change for Circle CI to GitHub Actions, we may have issues, especially with ARM64 workflows. It's just to make you aware, it's starting to be a pain. So if anyone will help me on that, he or she will be welcome.
Yeah, that's because we do not have native ARM64 runners, so we need to use the QEMU enabled runners, and they are really, really slow.
And I
For
think
now,
there's also, I saw in the logs, even for my HashiCorp Vault plugin, it did some stuff about the CloudTrail plugin and others plugins. So maybe something is wrong in the documentations. The workflow is trying to build or something else to all plugins and not only the related plugins we are developing.
Yeah. That is our CI basically. I think we can improve that. Yeah, I think we can improve that. At least just build the plugin you are updating or modifying. For sure, we can do that. I think it makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you too. Reach me and if you want more details. But at least the plugin is there. It works. I tested it.
Okay. Anybody else have an agenda item you want to sneak in before we conclude? All righty. Well, thanks everyone. Appreciate your time. We'll see you next week. Bye.